Good morning, everybody.
Hey, good morning. We're out at the Green Thumb Initiative, non-profit arm of Growing Home Minnesota, started by Liz Quackenbush and Katie Sloan of the Rochester Alternative Learning Center, which is one of our RPSD community schools. So I'm Kelly Ray Kirkpatrick, Olmsted County Extension Master Gardener, Vice Chair. And who are you?
And I'm Tom Bellinger, the chair of the Olmsted County Master Gardener Volunteers. And we're here on our second episode of this year. We're going to get started here. So,
where are you?
Yeah, I'm right here. Okay.
Hey, here we are.
So we're going to show you a little bit around the garden. Again, this is primarily a vegetable garden, community garden. And Kelly's going to go through some of the things that they're doing here, some of the unique techniques. And I'm going to try to fill in as best I can. But first, I want to just thank everybody who's watched our previous episode.
Oh yeah, we're getting really hot. We're going to get picked up by somebody, I'm sure.
We're still looking for that sponsor, but we're getting close to 150 views, and we appreciate your comments. It seems like a lot of people are into composting, so we're going to cover that again a little bit today. And but yeah, do send us questions in advance, or just comment on the video if you're watching it. That's how you do it on Facebook. Okay,
Facebook
here we go.
Live, yeah.
Okay,
so this area here is do you have the, oh yeah, you do. So this area here is smothering. This is occultation. We're occluding light by putting down black tarps. This area became very overgrown, and as you can see, we've got holes cut in just spaced measured out spots where we have planted melons. This is melons, squash, zucchinis,
and those are vegetables that need, and fruit that need they need a lot of pollinating.
They need insect pollinators for sure, because their blossoms are male and female. So the insects need to go back and forth to make sure the blossoms get pollinated. But this is the Cucurbitaceae family, and we've planted it all together because it all has the same needs. And what this does is we're able to grow things here while we are getting rid of the weeds and the grass underneath. So all that organic matter is staying. Let's keep walking around, Tom. Okay. All that organic matter is staying underneath as it decomposes with the heat and the light blocking everything out. And what can grow is left in the holes, and everything's just starting to sprout now. We've got, like I said, melons, winter squash, summer squash, cucumbers, and this food will go on the bookmobile for their summer playlist. And it'll go to neighborhoods of low income, low access, and people will be able to pick out fresh veg while they're participating in the bookmobile activities on that particular afternoon.
Yes, as you can tell, this is a local food growth team project, and local food is really important to us master gardeners here in Olmsted County. So Kelly's really led a couple of these large projects, and this is one of them over here by the Channel 1 food bank, if people are, or food shelf, if people are familiar with that. So we're gonna have to walk around. We're gonna walk over this way.
And does everybody notice how brown it is? Well, it's brown because we've got a drought, pretty moderate drought, moderate to severe here. You're walking backwards.
I know.
That's cool.
I'm doing pretty good right
Yeah. So moderate to severe drought here in southern Minnesota, but the reason why this grass is particularly brown is because we're on an industrial building site. So this site does not have good soils. It is a very sandy area that has really sharp drainage, and it doesn't really retain moisture. So there's no moisture for this grass to grow. But if you look at this hump here as we go over, come up on the top here, Tom, and flip the screen.
I'm going to have to flip the screen. See if I can do that. Okay. All right. Now we're in business. Okay.
So this middle part, can you scan to see the grade change here?
Yep.
So this middle part is built up soil for the trucks and construction vehicles to drive on when this site gets built on. And because there's more dirt here, more soil, obviously there's more nutrients for the roots to grow and moisture retention, so we have healthier looking grass. And then as we get back over to the next building site where we have our gardens and our raised beds, you can see that the grass surrounding is brown and going dormant because it doesn't have enough moisture. So
So on the compost, we had a couple questions about that, observations from our last session over at the Martin Luther King Community Garden and Learning Center. And so one of my other hobbies is brewing beer. I did bring Kelly some spent grain.
Did you bring spent grain?
I brought spent grain
Oh
because
my gosh.
I brewed a batch of beer. So anyway,
I'll hold the phone.
Kelly's going to hold the phone if it works here.
Hold the phone.
Hold the phone. But so basically, this is mainly
Where are you?
two-row
There you are.
barley that's used in the mashing process of brewing, and basically to get all the sugars out of the grain, out of the barley in this case. So you get all the sugars out, and then that's what's used when you add the hops.
You really put the knot in there really well,
I know,
Tom.
I
You're a good
really-
knot tire.
I didn't want it to escape.
Were you a Boy Scout?
I wasn't.
He was
I
an
failed
engineer.
knots. I failed
You
knots.
failed knots. Okay,
I don't
nice.
think I even got a
Nice.
merit badge on that. Okay, so again, this is about 10 pounds of spent grain. And Kelly, what we're going to do, what you want me
I
to
can't even see you. Can they see you?
Yes,
Jeez.
they can see me very good, yes.
Oh, okay, awesome.
So this is a lot of nitrogen. And the thing you have to be careful with this is it can get pretty smelly. So you want to spread it out, and you want to have a lot of carbon, carbons on it. A lot of dry,
a lot of
brown
carbon,
leaves.
dry brown matter. And if you look at this compost pile, that's about all it is where are we? I don't even see the compost
Yep.
pile. I can't do this very well.
Yeah.
We need an official cameraman. Who's
Yes,
going to
we
sponsor
do.
us soon?
Well, if we get more sponsors, then we get a sponsor.
Sponsor.
Then we can have a production.
Yeah, so we've just got, you can see this compost pile. It's pretty motley. And
So where do you want me to
I'm
put it?
flipping the phone because that's a smart thing to do. And it's a smartphone, and I'm smart.
So where do you want to add this?
Just kind of sprinkle it around, Tom, can you? So this is just a bunch of pulled weeds and branches and prunings and droppings. And the students were out yesterday, and I had them turn it and flip it. Last Friday, I added a lot of the Cafe Steam coffee grounds and tea leaves and coffee filters. So we've got that matter, that kind of brown matter, but very wet in there. And what Tom is doing now is he's just kind of flipping it and incorporating it with the spent grain in there. So we've got extra nutrients. You can get your hands dirty, Tom.
People liked that last time, I guess.
Apparently they did. So yeah, he's just flipping it on, and as you can tell, this compost pile could take a lot more spent grain. You want, I don't know, maybe 10 to 15%. It's high nitrogen. So a typical compost pile has 60% green matter, so 60% of your vegetable trimmings, your grass clippings, all those weeds you've been pulling. And then you'd want 30% dry matter, and I think we're looking at about 99.5% brown matter in this pile right now. And then the remainder to get you to 100% would be 10% moisture. So when you grab that compost, a bunch of it, it should have a drop of water coming out of it in your fist. And clearly this is dry, but we had the students water it yesterday when they came out for their work time. You are really doing a good job. This is great. You took the training? Yeah. Is it a special technique to turn the compost? That's a hacking maneuver there. Tom is in action, our fearless leader, really showing us how to work hard. So this will need some more moisture. The compost pile dries out really quickly in this weather. We've had those desiccating winds and of course, zero rain. You think it needs some water? Yeah. All right. Okay, we'll get some water on it. So there you go. Tom has added the spent grain, and we've got that added to the compost pile. And there's a coffee filter. Just tuck that in a little bit so it doesn't blow away. But yeah, if you want to do the sign up genius, we would love to have more people picking up compost or picking up the coffee grounds and tea leaves from Cafe Steam.
Where are we at?
We're here.
Okay.
So should we go talk some veggies?
Let's go talk some veggies here because this is pretty amazing. It's a pretty large garden. And you'll notice some things different about this one than the Martin Luther King garden that we were at last week, which didn't have any water on site. That's getting addressed, but let me flip this around here. So, all right. Okay, Kelly.
Okay, so this garden is irrigated. You can see those posts down there at the south end, and each one of those has an irrigation line that we've laid out in the garden. And that's why we've got this lush growth here. So this is a combination of oat grass growing. We've got some quack grass in here, and a fair amount of weeds. So we got out here with the students yesterday, and our garden coordinator, Natalie, who you can see in the distance there. Give a wave. There she is.
Hi, Natalie.
And we're just going ahead and weeding. We had an awesome little infestation of potato bugs on our potatoes, and 2 of the students volunteered to squish them between their fingers, which is a great, mechanical way to remove pests. You don't need to put chemical down, just squish them, and that took care of the infestation. So we've got potatoes here, jalapenos, tomatoes, cabbages, kale, beans, peas. It's a really prolific garden. It's about 60 by 80. We also found some edible weeds in the garden, so I taught the kids about lamb's quarters and portulaca, which we know as moss rose, but that's also a lovely addition to your salads too if you have some in your garden. So this is what it's all about, folks, growing food.
Yeah, very large garden, so we'll have to continue to keep weeding it. And those potato bugs, my understanding is you can have multiple generations in a growing season.
You can, and here's some right here. They're in the nymph stage, which is, they're so sweet and just yucky, and you have to squish them. And sorry about this. I know it's a life, and I know this is kind of a violent video. Don't show your kids. But they're in a really swollen nymph stage, and they can really do a lot of damage to the potato plants at this point in the game. And I've tried hosing them off, but sometimes they find their way back. So just kind of squishing them works. And then what you need to do is you need to look on the underneath side of the leaves for those yellow egg clusters. They're kind of a goldeny yellow egg cluster.
Yeah.
When you find those on the underneath side of the leaves, well,
and they almost look like,
and scrape those off too.
At first you might think they're a bunch of aphids, but they're just little eggs.
Little potato.
So Kelly, can we talk a little bit about what this is all about?
The irrigation.
The irrigation is pretty impressive here. So what do you do, and how often is it set up to?
It's set up like most home lawns should be set up, actually. A lot of people turn their sprinklers on every night, and you shouldn't.
Okay.
It just waters this top zone, and you really need a deep watering. So we have this sprinkler system, and this is a hint for all you folks at home. Nice.
How did I
what
do
have
that?
You done?
Oh my gosh.
It says
you
rotate your phone.
You can't do that. Okay. You got to be on the site. Okay.
Hang on.
All right. Okay.
Due to technical difficulties,
Okay.
your show is...
Okay. Come on, sponsors. Okay. Here we go.
So what we recommend is a nice deep watering. So we have the sprinkler set up. I think it goes off for either 4 or 6 hours on Sunday evening. Remember, this is sandy soil underneath, so it's always recommended when you run a sprinkler or an irrigation system that you actually measure it. Set out pans, like some cake pans with square sides, and actually set the timer on your sprinkler and stick the end of a ruler in at the end of your timer, let's say 20 minutes, half hour, 1 hour, and see how much water you've actually given your lawn or your garden. Most gardens and lawns need 1 inch a week. They don't really need more than that. I just watered my vegetable garden for the first time last week. Everything was looking really wilty, and I thought, you know what? I got to do it. It's time to water. But some people are watering every day, and it's really not necessary. Those roots, we should be forcing them deeper and deeper into the soil. And my soil, which has really nice high organic content in it in my garden, it was actually fairly moist and cool 4 to 6 inches down. So.
All right, thanks, Kelly. So we're just gonna, I think we're pretty much done with the show today, but let me just do a pan of the area here. There is one kind of, since we did mention grains, this is how Kelly gets me out here. She teases me with these hops. So we got,
and here's some lamb's quarters.
And some lamb's quarters and some hops. So, and of course I grow some hops at my home, and these here are probably more for just decorative purposes. I mean, they're a herbaceous plant. They have bines, not vines, with little light hairs on them to get them to climb. But the ones that grow the hop cones are basically the female-only plant. So you don't get involved with pollination with hops, just an FYI for anybody that's doing that. But it is really nice to have on trellises. It's a very leafy product that it can grow over 20 feet tall, and will span this arbor area here eventually. So with that, I think, Kelly, are we about ready to sign off?
We're about ready to sign off, but come over
We
here.
got to
in the
get
shade.
over in the shade. Yeah, see if this works better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Turn this way. Then we have a nice background. The sponsors might like that.
Sponsors might like that.
See,
Okay.
that's much better.
They're getting good. All right, so
Rock your week, everybody.
have a great time, and remember, it's a little bit cooler now, but you still got to watch the pests. There was a good posting on pests in our Facebook page, so please read that. So goodbye, everybody.
Bye.